Y nos quedaba nuestro querido cardenal. Su eminencia el cardenal Giuseppe Piaggi es un enviado del Papa Pío VI. Giuseppe Piaggi, ilustre orador, ha servido durante años a los principios de la Iglesia Católica Romana. Hombre de ciencia y aficionado a la filosofía, llamó rápidamente la atención del Papa, que lo nombró cardenal in pectore, discretamente. De este modo, logró aprovechar su relación de confianza para ayudar a Pío VI en su difícil cometido de guiar a los fieles. Tras recibir la invitación de Sir Gregory Holmes, Piaggi está encantado de visitar a su amigo Mortimer y poder representar los intereses de la Santa Sede. Bueno, pues ya vamos conociendo los personajes. Pues una pasada la mansión, ¿eh? Y este puede ser Zeus. No. ¿O sí? Sí, es Zeus. Porque está sujetando un rayo. Bueno, pues vamos a investigar aquí qué podemos encontrar. A ver, ¿esto?
Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
Coger el libro. ¿Nos escondemos el libro como vulgares ladrones? A ver, aquí hay movida, aquí hay gente, así que voy a investigar por el resto de la habitación. Los cuadros son... Cronos devorando a sus hijos.
Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing.
Es una
the first time
pasada.
I've seen brushstrokes like this.
Hay mucho arte por toda la mansión, ¿eh? Los cuadros.
Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall.
Qué mal rollo. A ver, vamos a encontrar aquí un mapa de Europa. Bueno, no parece que haya mucho más. Vamos a ver cómo podemos... Pero quiero entrar por aquí.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi.
Ya
He
nos
joins us
conocemos.
straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence.
Ya nos conocemos.
George Washington,
Oh,
President of the United States of America.
Delighted
George
at last
Washington.
to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer
Esto es
organizes one of
interesante
his
porque estamos
receptions,
descubriendo
there are
que
over a
los
dozen
personajes
people here.
son
They can't all be here.
personajes
And you'll see,
importantes de la
most of the
historia.
time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
At the risk of disappointing you, we weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Richet's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even
No
money
vas a decirle a George
matters. But you'll
Washington
see,
algo
it will
sobre
come.
nuestra madre.
Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organises a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing, I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Like you, Mr. President, I'm here as a result of Lord Mortimer's invitation.
2 members of the same family here. That is rare.
You know what they say, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Vale.
Good Lord! Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
O sea que...
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit! That's the man for my vision.
An urgent case
Joder,
has
qué
delayed
feo.
our host, Lord
Madre
Mortimer.
mía.
He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apology.
Entiendo por qué te
He's
pones
asking
polvos
me,
en la
hasn't
cara,
he
hijo
turned
mío,
up?
porque madre mía.
Let's start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision.
Puedo o quedarme con Washington o irme con este. Voy a quedarme con Washington. Ya iremos descubriendo quién es el otro. Quiero hablar más de mi madre.
Let's see what Washington has to say. Sir, if you don't mind, I shall stay here.
Do exactly as you please, young man.
Louis, thank you for staying. Just like
La
you,
nueva orden.
when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry, Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Por eso
Sorry
tiene
to have
la
made you
distinción.
wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well.
Durante.
Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in
Parece un
any way
símbolo
at all,
masónico.
please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
¿Cómo se conocieron Emily y mi madre? Sí. Si hay algo que pueda hacer por usted, no duden. Hábleme sobre Lord Mortimer.
And you, Emily, what do you think of my mother?
I only
No.
know her through the order. The one time we met, we only exchanged a few words in a corridor of Parliament.
And was the exchange courteous or impassioned?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Was there any reason for her to be angry with you?
Under other circumstances, I would slap your face for even asking, but I'll put your lack of tact down to her disappearance. Know that your mother is a woman I would love to work with. Her reputation is entirely deserved. Mr. Washington will be able to tell you more.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother.
¿Cómo se conocieron?
Where did you first meet her?
I met Sarah during the War of Independence on American soil. She was introduced to me by a mutual acquaintance, and I must say that her sound advice prevented me from making some terrible mistakes. She may not be a soldier, but believe me, she deserves a statue as much as Lafayette does.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. There's no doubt Mother has many secrets that are still hidden. Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead. But I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about?
O de la Orden Dorada, tal vez.
When she came to the U.S., did you exchange ideas about the Golden Order?
Exactly. What's more, she was essential in helping set up the American branch of the Order. I would never have become its leader without her help. We are a new country, and to achieve our democratic ideals, we need to count on discrete powers such as our organization.
Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
I wonder if Mother is still on the island. Could she not have taken a boat and left?
I don't see how. No vessel can moor closer than 200 yards, not to mention the permanent presence of staff and servants. There is one strange thing, I grant you. This island is barely the size of Delaware, and despite that, no one has been able to locate your mother.
So my mother still must be on the island.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Yes, I hope not.
Voy a investigarlo yo por mi
Careful,
cuenta, ¿vale?
they're coming back.
¿Y esa? ¿Quién es esa chica?
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal.
Una
But I
pedazo
must
de
say, he
estatua de
does have
Zeus
some
como hoy y mañana.
outstanding pieces.
Sir Hall, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Just mentioning Elizabeth totally changed Washington's attitude. Looks like he just saw a ghost.
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence.
Ha notado algo raro entre
Washington looks surprised, but Holmes doesn't seem to see it. I wonder if he's being polite or if he really doesn't see his discomfort.
On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will
Hay que ser
accompany you
rápido
to your rooms.
para coger las oportunidades. Elizabeth Adams. Ahora leemos quién es.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
al final del pasillo.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh man, it's been quite a day. Right, where is my room?
Bueno, vamos a leer quién es Elizabeth Adams. Sirvientes, Gregory Hall, Elizabeth Adams. Elizabeth Adams es la hija de John Adams, vicepresidente de los Estados Unidos. Ah, por eso la conoce. La tiene que conocer George Washington, porque es el presidente de los Estados Unidos. Al nacer, Elizabeth fue rechazada por sus padres y declarada mortinata. Creció en aislamiento y se convirtió en una joven frágil con trastorno bipolar consumida por terribles ataques de ansiedad. Sus secretos más íntimos la carcomían paulatinamente. A pesar de haber probado numerosos tratamientos, ninguno fue capaz de curarla. La joven continuaba precipitándose a la locura. En un intento desesperado por poder ayudarla, John Adams, amigo de Sir Gregory Holmes y Lord Mortimer, decidió enviarla a la mansión de este último. Elizabeth lleva un tiempo en la mansión. La esperanza que le queda es más bien escasa. O sea que es una chica atormentada por los problemas. Sir Gregory Holmes, barón de Nottingham, es un aristócrata británico de gran influencia. Este señor es el que hemos visto en la visión de antes de Louis. Como partidario de la corona, Sir Gregory Holmes pasó su vida extendiendo su influencia por el Reino Unido en todo el mundo. Desde la próspera Compañía Británica de las Indias Orientales hasta las factorías españolas en América, intervino e influyó en las decisiones clave de la potencia económica mundial suprema. En Inglaterra contribuyó a la reducción de la deuda nacional y, debido a su arraigo por los valores familiares, invirtió su tiempo en la clase obrera y construyó escuelas de calidad, con el fin de ofertar la educación decente a los futuros vínculos de la próxima revolución industrial. Holmes, que siempre ha procurado establecer buenos contactos, considera un placer poder asistir a las reuniones sociales de su viejo amigo, el Lord Mortimer. Vale. Pues vamos a encontrar, a ver si podemos encontrar nuestra habitación. Y por el camino a ver qué vemos. Aquí no hay nada, no hay nada.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Perdona, Napoleón Bonaparte. ¿Qué hace aquí Napoleón?
Monsieur Jacques Perru.
Perú. A ver. ¿Qué hace aquí Napoleón? Elixir dorado. El elixir dorado cura todas las alteraciones negativas. No puedes llevar más de 5 encima. Alteraciones negativas.
Consume without excess. A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
A ver. ¿Qué hemos cogido? El arte de conocer a la gente por su fisonomía. Un método por el cual analizar a sus individuos en base a su aspecto físico, en particular en sus rasgos faciales. +1 en psicología. Ensayo científico que combina las más preciosas observaciones astronómicas con nociones matemáticas avanzadas. La enciclopedia. 150 académicos y estudiosos contribuyeron a la elaboración de la primera síntesis del conocimiento humano, más uno a ciencias, lingüística e erudición. Vale. 4 de jalea real, un elixir dorado. Tenemos la carta sellada de la bolsa de nuestra madre, la carta sellada de Piaggi, el pañuelo, el otro pañuelo y la invitación. Mapa. Nos han dicho que es al final del pasillo, pero al final del pasillo esto es un pasillo circular, ¿sabéis lo que os digo? A ver. Abrojo. El abrojo te proporciona un estado exaltado. Se mostrarán temporalmente las inmunidades y vulnerabilidades que afecten a tus elecciones durante una conversación. No puedes llevar más de 5 encima. Abrojo.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
Van Vulner. No, por aquí no hay nada. Aquí encima de la mesa no hay nada. Vale.
Pound.
Una libra. Una moneda. ¿Esta será nuestra habitación? No. Qué de cuadro, ¿eh? Joder, pero qué largo es esto. ¿Dónde está mi habitación? Que quiero dormir.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
El cardenal Piaggi. ¿Dónde está mi habitación? Ah, está en nuestra habitación. Ve a tu habitación.
So what shall I do with this letter? It might be about my mother's disappearance. But if I open it, I'll be betraying Piaggi's trust. What should I do?
Abrir la carta. Dejarla sellada.
Damn. Can't wait to open it, but I gave my word to Piaggi, so...
Vale.
Too bad. I'll wait until I hand it to Mother. Wow. Nice room. Mortimer sure doesn't do things halfway.
Vaya pedazo de habitación tenemos, ¿no? Con más cuadros. Agua del Carmen. El agua del Carmen te proporcionará el estado centrado. La próxima habilidad que utilices no tendrá ningún coste. No puedes llevar más de 5 encima.
Saint Jerome and the Angel. Yet again, art with political undertones with an image of a saint hearing voices.
A ver. ¿Qué tenemos por aquí? Por ahí ha brillado algo en la mesa. A ver qué tenemos aquí. ¡Ay! Arriba hay algo. Alcanzar.
Amber crystals.
Bueno.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Desbloquear, salir. No, no podemos abrir la caja. A ver qué encontramos aquí. ¡Eh! ¿Ya nos metemos en la cama? Bueno, pues a descansar. Supongo que cuando descansemos recuperaremos los puntos de habilidad. Sobriedad. No has encontrado todas las pistas de mi madre en el no he encontrado todas las pistas de mi madre en el embarcadero. Podría haberme unido a Sergio en la salita. Podría haber provocado un encuentro inesperado. He hecho una pregunta sobre mi madre. He encontrado un extraño libro en el embarcadero. Me he quedado en la sala principal hablando con el señor Washington. He conocido al señor Washington. Vale. Volvemos a tener 4 puntos de habilidad que podemos utilizar. Podemos darle un punto aquí a manipulación y inquisición, lógica y observación. Vale. Pues vamos a ir así. Equipar manuscritos. Aquí puedes seleccionar tus lecturas durante tu aventura. Los manuscritos te otorgarán puntos de habilidad al finalizar la misión. Una habilidad en ciencias. Habilidad en persuasión. En psicología. Vamos a ver la persuasión. Y vale. Pues vamos a ver así. Sobrio. Así que mucho no hemos dormido, Luis. Oh, estamos soñando. ¿Perdón?
Your turn?
Que estamos
The servants are not very
como si fueran los ojos del
De
sirviente.
Richet can't be far away. They'll find her soon. Their search time is restricted, given that they must keep an eye on Adams.
I can take care of her, you know.
Yes. Well, in any case, I do thank you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood, the search of De Richet's room hasn't turned up any results.
Not yet, no. But we've put her son in there. Perhaps he'll find something.
That might come in handy.
Louis grows impatient at not yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
O sea, que este es Lord Mortimer.
Oh, what a pity to lose a knight at the start of the game. Are you waiting for someone?
A young French soldier.
During our game of chess?
Don't worry, Gregory. The game won't disappear.
Creo que sé que me aló.
I'll have one of my
Napoleón.
men escort you back.
Don't trouble
Napoleón
yourself. I
Bonaparte.
know my way out.
Good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late hour.
It is never too late, and we have much to discuss. One last move?
Don't worry. Our games always seem to end like this.
Or always start like this. Come, take a seat, my friend.
Bien. O sea que hemos visto una reunión de sería a lo mejor Napoleón Bonaparte, ¿veis? Es que nada más verle entrar y al decir soldado francés ya te da pistas de quién es. Y ese es el
A little nighttime
Washington.
stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it for a good night's sleep.
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
The corridors seem quite safe.
Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian. My miracle remedy when one can't get to sleep. A very good night to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you too, sir.
viene a vernos a nosotros. ¿Qué quiere el presidente de nosotros? Ojo, ojo. Ay, Dios.
I'm coming.
A ver, tenemos aquí una
Dear
carta.
Monsieur de Richet, please excuse me, but I am unable to join you at present. However, rest assured that we are doing all we can to resolve the case that concerns us. By the way, enclosed, you will find a key that will enable you to retrieve the personal
Lord William
effects your
Mortimer.
mother left behind. Yours faithfully, Lord William Mortimer.
Estimado Monsieur de Richet. Estimado Monsieur de Richet. Ruego sus disculpas, pero me es imposible reunirme con usted en estos momentos. Pero puede estar tranquilo, estamos haciendo todo lo posible para resolver el problema que nos concierne. Propósito, junto a esta carta encontrará una llave que le permitirá recuperar los aspectos personales que dejó su madre. Recibo un cordial saludo, tal. Vale. La llave. Y vamos a ver qué quiere el señorito. A ver qué quiere George Washington de nosotros. A saber.
Excuse me, am I bothering you?
No.
No, not in the least. Is something wrong?
I'm going to need your help. Do you remember the young lady we spoke of in the hall?
Sí.
Elizabeth Adams. Home introduced her to us.
Yes. Well, she is the daughter of my friend, the Vice President, John Adams.
Sí,
But
ya
she is
lo
supposed
sé,
to be
yo lo he
dead.
leído.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Fair enough.
Good heavens! I was present at her funeral.
Ojo.
It is disturbing indeed.
Yes.
Hostias.
I need to make sure it's her. That's where you come in. I want you to distract Elizabeth while I search her room. And
Pero-
perhaps get my hands on some important information.
Esto se da
At least I
porque
hope so.
la declararon
Elizabeth is in the
muerta.
small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her. I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories.
Ayudar a Lord Washington. No sé, no sé. Investigar acerca de mi visión. Yo creo que esto es lo más importante.
Sir, I don't feel well. I'm going to have to decline.
I see. Well, I hope you won't be needing my help one day.
I must act swiftly. I'll search my room later.
Mierda. Buscador de la verdad. Hemos rechazado al presidente de los Estados Unidos. Cuidado, Ojo. Ojo que nos... Ojo. ¿Pero dónde estoy? Espía a los hombres de tu visión. Vale, pero... ¿Y esto dónde era?
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Vale.
Louis, you're straying from your objective.
O sea que es para allá. Vamos a investigar sin que nos escuchen.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
¿Manuel Godoy? ¿En serio? Manuel Godoy era español y se repartió con Napoleón Portugal, una parte de Portugal.
I recognize this part of the corridor. I'm close.
Múltiples caminos. Existen múltiples caminos que puedes seguir para lograr tu objetivo. En ocasiones es buena idea pensárselo 2 veces antes de embarcarse en la primera opción que te encuentres.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Vale. O sea que aquí está Emily.
Good evening, sir. I'm sorry, but an important meeting is underway. My instructions are to let no one pass.
Tell me, my good man.
Sir?
Preguntar al sirviente. Encomendar al sirviente una tarea. Asustarlo. Uf. Asustarlo no. Preguntar al sirviente. Encomendar al sirviente una tarea. Fingir que tengo un mensaje urgente. No. Una tarea.
Listen, I'm an insomniac and Sir Holm told me that you could go to the kitchen and make me a cup of herbal tea.
And what is in this herbal tea, sir?
Holm gave Washington a recipe for a sleeping draught. What was it again? Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian.
Yes, it's herbal tea. I'll go and make it for you at once, sir.
I'll wait for you in my room. I need to find a place to watch undisturbed. I can't hear anything here. I've got to find another spot. It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
Mi queridísimo hijo, te escribo para rogarte que actúes cuanto antes. La situación empeora a pasos agigantados. Paoli continúa dirigiendo a nuestra patria, Córcega, hacia un conflicto armado entre Francia e Inglaterra. Sus hombres están por todas partes. Estamos obligados a escondernos y no podemos quedarnos en el mismo sitio más de 2 días. No me sorprendería que pronto viniesen a por nosotros. Date prisa, nuestro destino está en tus manos. Tu querida madre, María Leticia Bonaparte.
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier. The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another one with delusions of grandeur. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better.
Me estoy quedando sin...
The Prince, by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Vale. Inmunidad descubierta. ¡Ojo! Inmunidad descubierta. Buscar.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Vale. Teníamos... A ver. ¿Dónde era? Inventario. Elixir dorado, jalea real, restaura 2 puntos de esfuerzo. Vamos a usar una jalea real. No tiene ningún coste. Una jalea real. 2. Bueno. ¿Dónde me puedo poner para escuchar? O sea, quiero decir... ¡Ay, fuera! Fuera.
This window opens onto the balcony.
Bien. Salir.
Okay, so that means the other room must be on my right.
Artero.
Sir, I understand your eagerness, but the pressure on my family complicates the task.
Relax, my friend. Your relatives will soon be safe.
So what I saw in my vision really did happen. Well, I hope I haven't missed anything important.
I thank you so much.
Don't mention it. Now that's settled, let us speak about your support.
Yes. You mentioned earlier some assistance from the Golden Order?
Absolutely. I have concluded an agreement with their leader, Lady Sarah Faustine de Richet.
Another case that Mother didn't tell me about.
The funds from
¿En qué estaba metida
will
tu madre,
finance the
Luis?
building of a
Es que es-
foundry in Tuscany. You will soon be able to count on 100 or more cannons for your future campaigns.
I was not expecting so much help from you. When can I meet this de Richet?
Well, unfortunately, something has cropped up. De Richet has disappeared.
Disappeared? What? Here?
Yes, but the staff
El acento
are
francés
doubling
hablando
efforts to
inglés.
find her, I assure you.
So the agreement, is it on or off?
It is on. Her right-hand man has just arrived here to help us find her. And it is none other than her son, Louis Maurice de Richet. I wager he will ensure his mother's commitments are met.
Louis. Not an easy name to live with in these times.
Of course. But from now on, you will deal with him.
This man, it can only be Mortimer.
Very well. I will seek him out.
Ma'am,
Uf. Dios. ¿Qué ha pasado? ¿Qué? ¿Qué? Cuando se agote el tiempo, se seleccionará automáticamente una respuesta.
well, I better get away from here.
vamos. Vamos, Bri, no te pueden pillar aquí ¡Puf! Cuidado, cuidado. Bueno. ¿Qué coño? What?
Louis?
Emily? I can explain.
Perhaps, but remains...
El personaje te ha desconcertado. Aumenta el coste de tus puntos de esfuerzo al usar habilidades. Usar un elixir dorado para curar.
Kill.
But first, you could perhaps remove the blade from my throat?
You have 10 seconds to explain your presence here.
Elixir dorado.
Emily, we both know you're not going to kill anyone this evening.
Be careful. I might have to cut you off.
Wait. Let's talk about this misunderstanding.
What are you doing in my room?
First of all, let's keep calm. My being here is just a coincidence. Anyway, I seriously doubt what I'm doing in your room is really the question that interests you. Now, is it?
Clever boy. So answer the question that does interest me. What were you really doing on the balcony?
A young soldier arrived this evening. Someone was waiting for him in his room. I wanted to find out more, and what I heard was worth the risk.
All right, go on. Do these events concern me? Do they involve the Golden Order?
I overheard a conversation between a French soldier and some other individual.
And what were they talking about?
It seems Mother is involved, something about a military campaign. Apparently my mother validated an order of cannons to help this man.
Really? Since when does the Order finance wars?
As far as I know, since never.
Did they give any details, a date, what they were for?
Nothing at all. Did you know anything about this?
No, but I won't forget.
Vale.
Thank you.
Bien.
All right, Louis, I might have overreacted a bit. Please do excuse me.
Mirada vale
But
más
next
que
time,
mil palabras.
please try knocking on my door.
Bien,
I'd be
bien.
delighted to open it for you.
Oh, well, I'll remember in that case. Good night, Emily.
Good night, Louis.
Uf, es que estaba en paños menores. Por eso nos ha dicho qué cojones hacíamos mirando por la ventana. Wow. Wow, espérate. Ahora... Pues vamos a la cama.
Your Eminence, what are you doing here?
I wanted to speak to you about something important. Do you still have my letter on you? The one I gave you in the hall?
Why do you ask?
I have a name to add to it.
Devolverle la carta.
Here it is.
Thank you, my son. Ah, I see that it's still sealed. I was right to put my trust in you, Louise. Give me 1 second, please. I can't imagine what would have happened if I hadn't added this name to the list. Please be sure to give this letter to Sarah the moment you see her.
You can count on it.
Have a good night.
Esta es nuestra habitación, ¿no? Lord de Richet, exacto. Pues vamos para adentro.
I'm exhausted. I better go to bed. I'll search my room tomorrow. If Mother stayed here right before me, you never know. And Mortimer had better show up.
Vaya noche más movidita hemos tenido, ¿eh? He extraído a la sirviente para poder... He estado espiando a los hombres de mi visión, he convencido de mi inocencia, he mostrado a Piaggi su carta cerrada. Vale.